What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and I'm about to say a name that I haven't said in a long time. And that name is Amber Heard. Yeah, I know, right? Hearing it just it makes you feel some type of way. I don't know about you all, but even saying the name Amber Heard, it gives me this icky feeling in the pit of my stomach. Or then again, I haven't eaten lunch yet. Maybe I need to go to Chick-fil-A or something. But yeah, as far as Amber Turd goes, I have gone radio silent on the story. I get people messaging me every day wanting me to cover a Johnny Depp update, wanting me to cover some new drama that Amber Heard has found herself in. But I've gone radio silent because I don't want to feed into her anymore. What I want you all to understand is these endless videos and Twitter threads and Instagram posts, they are doing nothing but helping Amber at this point. The more you say her name, the more you talk about her, the better off she is. Because unlike Johnny Depp, she has nothing to show for herself, really. The only way her name is going to ring bells and stay alive is if people keep calling her out for the dumb stuff she does. And one thing I've had to learn about the internet is that people do stupid stuff on the internet all the time. They do controversial things. They say and do things that aren't right just to get attention because they know that's going to get people going. They know it will get people stirred up. They know it will get people talking. Just how Piglet is barking right now because she is pissed that I'm even talking about Amber Heard again because I promised that I would not. But yesterday, Queen Elizabeth passed away. And I don't know how many of you all were on social media yesterday, but Twitter was a crazy place to be yesterday. You had one half of Twitter mourning Queen Elizabeth's death, and the other half was celebrating. I mean, these people were ecstatic, excited, happy. I saw people doing fireworks shows, having cookouts, you name it. And one of these groups of people who happened to be participating in the celebration of Queen Elizabeth's death were Amber Heard fans. Does that surprise you at all? It doesn't surprise me. Now, I'll let you know right now. When it comes to the royal family, when it comes to any government official, presidents, anybody, I don't really care about them. I think most of them are probably not even, they're probably not good people. However, I have respect and I have class. So I never celebrate someone else's death regardless of how I feel about them or not. Now, when it comes to Queen Elizabeth, I didn't have an opinion on her because I never cared much about the royal family. I understand that some people have valid reasons as to why they don't like the royal family. But a lot of the people who are complaining about Queen Elizabeth and stuff yesterday on Twitter are people who have no clue what they're talking about. As I was scrolling through all of these tweets, I saw that most of these people had very little knowledge about history. Their history was all misconstrued. And the reality is, a lot of these people complaining about Queen Elizabeth and calling her a bad person are just woke white college kids who've never faced any adversity in their lives. So what they like to do is they like to comb through history and pick out people and label them as ists and bad people because the way of thinking and the way of life back then was different. So because a lot of these woke idiot college kids, they have no problems in their own life. They search for problems. They search for other people that they could call out. But they don't call this stuff out because they really feel strongly about it. They only call it out because they want to boost themselves up. And when it comes to Amber Heard's fan base, most of Amber Heard's fan base aren't Amber Heard fans. No one watched Pineapple Express, saw Amber Heard, and decided they were going to be a super fan of Amber Heard. No. Amber Heard fans are really just woke activists. A lot of them feminists. So they're not a fan of Amber or her body of work. They're a fan of basically her suing Johnny Depp, and they want to stand up for the woke messaging that goes along with it. But just to take a quick look at some of what Amber Heard fans were saying on Twitter yesterday. Queen Elizabeth, aged 96, has passed away peacefully today. BBC reports that her last words were, "The world needs to see all of Amber Heard's scenes as Mera in Aquaman 2. So powerful, so inspiring." I'm sorry, but that was funny. That was funny. Why though? Why have we reached that point in our society where when people die, people just start making relentless memes about it? It's like, I get it. It can be funny. This was funny. I don't agree with anything that was said, but it's funny. But it's mainly funny to me because I try to put myself in that mind state, and I try to think like, what type of person would I have to be to hear of someone's death and automatically go, oh, let's make a joke about Aquaman 2 and how she really wanted to watch Mera and Amber Heard. But for some reason, this is the type of stuff that's out there. And I mean, I could go through tweets all day, but I think the one that really resonated with a lot of people and rubbed people the wrong way was this tweet from Chatu Bunny. The Queen died, but honestly, Amber Heard been through so much more. The hardships she's faced aren't even comparable to dying of old age. Until the Queen has done what Amber has done, I don't feel sympathy. You know, like a few years ago, I would look at a tweet like this or a social media post like this, and I would know automatically that it's satire, it's a joke. It's not meant to be taken seriously, it's a meme. But in 2022, people actually think like this. People actually think that Amber Heard has gone through more than anyone in the history of our planet. They compare her to Jesus Christ, who had to bear the cross and walk around with a crown of thorns. They compare her to Gandhi. They compare her to Queen Elizabeth. In fact, they say that no one has ever gone through what Amber has gone through. Yet they don't even take the time out of their day to really think about it, to do critical thinking. Because if you did, you would ultimately come to the conclusion that Amber brought all of that nonsense onto herself when she made false allegations about Johnny Depp. I will go so far as to say that I don't necessarily think we should still be out here publicly crucifying Amber Heard. I feel like it's time to move on. It's time to let it go. You know, when every single day Amber Heard continues to trend on Twitter with people just hopping on the bandwagon of trashing her and dogpiling on top of her, it's starting to make other people look bad. And that's what Amber wants. Amber's going to keep, and Amber's team and Amber's followers, they're going to keep throwing out this bait. This right here, it's bait. Because they want the rest of the world, people who are indifferent about the situation, to continue to see Johnny Depp fans trashing Amber Heard on a daily basis. Because then it makes it look like she has been bullied, that she is the victim. That is what they are going for here, folks, in case you have not realized it. Every single day that goes by, that Amber Heard or Amber Turd or Amber Heard is a liar, Amber Heard is this, Amber Heard's a psychopath. Every day that goes by with things like that trending on Twitter and thousands upon thousands of people just joining in to bash Amber Heard, it's making her look better in the eyes of some people. And at the very least, it's going to make people sympathize with her. Personally, I don't sympathize with her or the situation. But even me, someone that despises this woman and doesn't even want to say this woman's name, even me, I'm like, all right, okay, we get it. It's enough. It's time to move on. Like, Amber Heard fans, you need to find someone else to be a fan of. And everyone else, let's move on with our lives. Because it's clear to me that Johnny Depp has moved on and he's living and doing his thing. And so many of his fans are still spending the majority of their day in this argument with Amber Heard fans. And it's like, I'm over it, guys. Let's move on. But I did see a couple of tweets from people saying that things like, oh, all of the people attacking the Queen are Amber Heard fans. Here's one. Why is it only real Amber Heard fans that talk so poorly of the Queen and her passing? Not seeing one Depp fan or even unbiased people about this case saying anything nasty, just Amber supporters. I'll be fair here. Yes, Amber supporters are definitely attacking the Queen, but they are the only ones. I think some Depp fans, they're within this echo chamber where everything you're seeing on social media it's just always about Johnny Depp or Amber Heard. Once you talk about something enough on social media, they will tailor the posts that you see. So a lot of these people are still living in the reality where Amber Heard and Johnny Depp is the only thing to talk about. And every tweet and post you see is about Johnny Depp or it's about Amber Heard. Whereas the majority of the world has moved on to other things. So when you're in that echo chamber, it's easy to think that, oh, Amber Heard fans are the only ones attacking Queen Elizabeth, when in reality, there is a ton of people who have issues with Queen Elizabeth. So I want to clear that up. It's not like it's just Amber Heard fans doing this. However, Amber Heard fans are doing this along with a lot of other people. And, like I said earlier, I think there are plenty of people out there who have valid reasons as to why they don't like the royal family. But when it comes to Amber Heard fans and why they don't like the Queen, it all has to do with the woke propaganda nonsense that they push. Like I said earlier in the video, they're not a fan of Amber Heard or her work. They're a fan of the message that is behind Amber Heard, the victim message, this feminist Me Too movement message. That's what they are down with. They don't care about Amber Heard, the person. They care about what she stands for or represents, which is total nonsense. But that's what they like. So the reason all Amber Heard fans have an issue with the Queen is because all Amber Heard fans are these woke social justice warriors who pretend to care about things that happened hundreds of years ago, and they like to trash people throughout history to try to prop themselves up or to make them look like they're virtuous and cool, and oh, you're one of the good ones. You really call all of the stuff out that evil white people did back in the day and all of this nonsense. Listen, the majority of people, especially Amber Heard fans, that are calling out Queen Elizabeth, they have literally, and this may be controversial, but it's the reality, they have benefited from Queen Elizabeth. They have benefited from England, Britain, colonialization, whatever the hell you want to call it. They like to call people colonizers and whatnot. I find it funny that people sit on their iPhones inside of their air-conditioned homes or inside of their air-conditioned cars while eating snacks that were shipped and distributed from a vast, economic system that's making everything work. So they benefit from all this stuff, and then they trash everyone throughout history who made this possible. Like I said, I understand that the royal family and Britain and literally anyone, any country, any kingdom, any people throughout history, they've done horrible things. I get it. However, I'm not the type of person to hold something against you because of what your ancestors may have done hundreds of years ago. I'm also not the type of person that even if you're my enemy or I don't like you or I don't like something you've done, I'm not going to crap on you during your funeral. I'm not going to celebrate your death. Those are just things that I don't do. Now, if other people want to do that, you're free to do that. But as far as these Amber Heard fans go, they're all phony, bogus, SJW activists, and I expect nothing less from them. They will always celebrate the deaths of people. These people are terrible people. Most of these activists who push this type of stuff are terrible people. And that's why they get into the stuff that they're into. Because they want to push these messages because they know inside they're terrible. So they have to project something else out of their mouth. But I want to know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.